A very warm good afternoon to our esteemed guests, dignitaries, and dear audience. Let's begin this function with a small video presentation.
Bro, it's okay.
A mile of highway can take you to a mile. A mile of runway can take you anywhere in the world. On the runway, timing and safety is everything. Above and beyond reveals the word passenger rarely see.
We are the first ones to touch every journey and the last ones to send it off. Above and beyond gives voice to our unsung heroes.
Cargo basically carries a lifeline.
Medicines, essentials, and everything. This book appreciates a silent world.
Every journey is about people, not just planes. Above and beyond is about those connections.
Customs is all about balance, welcoming travelers while protecting our borders. The book Above and Beyond by Shri Shiv Kumar Mohanka reflects this spirit, covering everything from security checks and smuggling to insider threats. It also shares information every passenger should know, offering a clear overview of the entire aviation ecosystem. More than rules and regulations, it reminds us that we are part of aviation's larger story of trust and safety. That's what makes this book so meaningful.
A meal at 35,000 feet carries planning and guilt.
Airside management is custodian of the runway and manages very complex environment in the sun. We deliver into a complex scenario wherein multi-stakeholder dynamically dealing with the pilots, ground handlers, airlines, regulatory authorities, BCS, and all the multiple stakeholders to deliver an efficient, orderly traffic. Above and Beyond throws a light on such more events and details about this.
On behalf of ATC fraternity, a sincere gratitude to Mr. S.K. Mohanka ji, CSF DIG, for including a chapter on ATC in his book Above and Beyond. It's a great pleasure to have a topic on ATC where he covered all the intricacies of ATC, especially when our aim is regarding keeping the sky safe with the aim to ensure safe, orderly and expeditious flow of air traffic amongst all kinds of weather situations, may it be an emergency, may it be some priority, may it be medical emergencies. All those things were nicely covered by Mr. Mohanka ji, where we do the job uncompromised through some critical decision making, and we focus basically on the human factors as well.
Myself, Inspector Shiv Kumar from CSL. Airport is the critical aspect of ensuring the safety of passengers, staff and aircraft. The book Above and Beyond is dedicated to this subjects such as practical aviation security highlight the evolution of security practices based on historical events and the importance of continually adapting the new threats in aviation industry.
I'm Shri Shiv Kumar. I'm the airport manager for Air India here in Hyderabad. On a day-to-day basis, we meet quite a few people, quite a few passengers who are coming with varied experience and varied requirements. And their requirements are met in depth. I would say the passenger who is walking in with a kind of thought and they are lost somewhere, but they are guided. We are therefore guiding all these passengers. We take them right from the check-in counter until the boarding gate, till they board the aircraft, and till they reach their final destination. Above and beyond is sharing my experience, which is there in the book for the many of years of experience which is there. It is really a must for each and everybody who has opted as aviation as their career. Would request you or would suggest you to go through this book. It will take you in and out anywhere in the aviation industry, right from the origin till your final destination. Thank you.
Respected dignitaries, it gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to each one of you to the special occasion, the launch of the book Above and Beyond, authored by Shri S.K. Mohanka, Deputy Inspector General, CISF. We deeply respect and appreciate the presence of our esteemed dignitaries, distinguished guests, members of the literary fraternity, colleagues, friends from media and well-wishers who have gathered here to celebrate this remarkable milestone. With these auspicious beginnings, it is only fitting that we now invoke the blessings of Lord Ganesha, the remover of obstacles, the harbinger of success, and the embodiment of knowledge and new beginnings. Please welcome Mritika Sri on stage to invoke the blessings of the Almighty through the timeless art of Bharatanatyam. Murtiga Shri. As we proceed further with the blessings of Ma Saraswati, let us begin this event with a gesture that signifies knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment, the lighting of the ceremonial lamp. I would now request our esteemed dignitaries, Shri K. Ram Mohan Naidu, Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation, Shri Syed Shahnawaz Hussain, former Civil Aviation Minister, Shri Shilvardhan Singh, Member UPSC, Shri Praveer Ranjan, DG CISF, Shri R.P. Thakur, former DGP Andhra Pradesh, Shri Sanjeev Chopra, former Director Labasna, and Shri Gauri Shankar Nateshan, Publisher Juris Press, to kindly come forward and grace the occasion by lighting the lamp. The light of the lamp is a symbol of hope, positivity, and the triumph of knowledge over ignorance. It sets the perfect tone for today's occasion, the launch of a book that itself illuminates minds and inspires excellence. I now request Shri Praveer Ranjan, DG CISF, to please present a bouquet to the Honorable Civil Aviation Minister and the former Civil Aviation Minister. Thank you, sir. I now request Shri Gauri Shankar Nateshan, Publisher, Juris Press, to please present a bouquet to Shri Praveer Ranjan, DG CISF. Thank you, sir. I now request Shri S.K. Mohanka, DIG CISF, and the author of today's book to be launched, to present a bouquet to the esteemed guests on the dais. you, sir. A book launch marks not just the release of a manuscript, but the culmination of vision, experience, and dedication transformed into words. Above and Beyond is one such work, a thoughtful and meticulously crafted exploration of the vast world of aviation. This day, this hour, will stand as a testimony to the human spirit at 30,000 feet and open the wings of history for every avid reader and aviation expert. This book will be a testimony to a 30,000-foot view of a 500-page journey while deciphering why Above and Beyond matters. This book will be a testimony to stories, systems, and the passenger journey in the Valley of Skies. Truly, this book stands as a tribute to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of excellence that keeps the world of aviation soaring higher, above, and beyond. On the same note, I now request and invite Shri Sanjeev Chopra, former Director, Labasna, to please share his thoughts and insights.
Thank you, Amma. Honorable Union Minister, Shri Ram Mohan Naidu ji, Honorable ex-Civil Aviation Minister, Shri Shanawaz Hussain, Shri Praveer Ranjan, my friend Sheil Vardhan Singh, not that others are not my friends, but Sheil and I have had the opportunity of sitting together, Shri R.P. Thakur, and of course, young man Shiv Mohanka, and the publisher for today, Mr. Natesan. Friends, it's a real honor and a real pleasure to talk something about this book. I review many books. I review a book every week. But then there are some books which leave an impact. And what is so special about this book is that, there are books which give you an encyclopedic vision of things. And there are books which are kept in the libraries. You don't normally like to pick up an encyclopedia and flip through the pages. It's a nice book. It's got a nice cover, and you keep it. Then you've got some very nice pamphlets and some small brochures which you think is publicity materials. You look at it, it's glossy paper. You don't give it that significance or importance because it's not a book. So somewhere you need a document which has an encyclopedic depth, which has the marking of a doctoral thesis, and which is also readable. Now that's a very rare quality. The ability to be able to put serious matter, absolutely serious stuff, into something which is interesting, into something which is eminently readable, full of illustrations. That is what Shiv has been able to do. So a big round of applause for Shiv. Now, time is the most important thing, especially at airports and at civil aviation meets and at various things. Let me just tell you that this book spans 230 years. 230 years of history of aviation. Of course, there is a larger history of aviation. We can think of the Pushpak Viman and all these things, but in recorded history, it's about 230 years, and it starts from the time before balloons were there. So we talk about balloons, we talk about the first thing, we talk about the Wright brothers, we talk about how the aircraft, how the whole civil aviation, the defense aspects of it, all these aspects have been very ably covered, very succinctly covered by my very dear friend. I will not go into too many technical details because if I tell you everything, then, an author also wants the book to be read. I think the publisher wants books to be published and sold. The author wants the book to be read. So there's a little dilemma between the publisher and the author, but sometimes that dilemma is also broken. So I'm happy that we'll get this dilemma broken. So friends, Mohanka, as we all know, is in the CISF. And as some of the people from the ATC had reported, normally you write books about your organizations. It's very easy to write a book about the CISF. For me, it's very easy to write a book on the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy. I can write a book on agriculture, and I can write a book on food processing with Shanawaz. We could be co-authors of that book. But when you try to do a book which is very comprehensive, which gives you everything about that sector, and as that film showed us, that ATC person was very happy that the ATC has been included. The loader was happy that the loader has been included. The air hostess was happy that the air hostess has been included. So another great quality of this book is the whole aspect of inclusivity, that everybody is included, because when a flight takes off, it's not just a flight that takes off, it's an entire system
the BCAS, the CIS, the local police, the handling, the airports, the medical, the entire gamut that goes into it. That is what has been compressed in 500 pages. But these 500 pages are eminently readable. And the other good thing about this book, as you buy it across, is that you don't have to read it that chapter 1 ke baad you have to come to chapter 2. You can flip through it, you can go to a chapter, you can go to a next chapter, you can cover some other areas. And one more thing is there, that nations can stop fighting, but the ATCs will still have to talk. So there is one organization which will always talk. So whether we like it or we don't like it, even if you're not friends with the country, even we are sworn enemies, yet when it comes to the ATC, all of us have to collaborate, all of us have to work together. So I will not take too much of your time, because time is the most precious commodity, and I will very strongly recommend that you go through the book. If you can't go through the book, go through the book review which I've written for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Shri Shiv Kumar Singh, member UPSC, to please say a few words and address the gathering.
Honorable Minister, august guests on the dais, dear friends, colleagues from various professional fields here. I stand before you to speak about this book, in which I have had a peep in the past, because I was able to, Mr. Mohanka was very gracious, he gave me a copy of it before publishing. So when I speak with multiple hats. First being, from my world of intelligence, I have looked after immigration and aviation and industrial security. Then as DGCISF, I was directly involved in aviation. And most important of all, as a citizen, as a traveler, as a person who loves to wander in life. And for anyone, any human being who is a child, first dream is to fly like a bird. Aviation is something which is like a, manifestation of that first dream which a child has, to go up in the sky, fly. And this industry is something which is on the cutting edge of technology. When I was in college, I had read a book, Airport, by Arthur Haley. And that book was set in Lincoln Airport at Illinois in USA. And it was about, a snowstorm is coming and a plane was stranded on a runway. There was a bomb threat and there was personal crisis also in the protagonist's life and how they handled it. And it seemed so complex. This book was set in 70s. Now when I look back at that book and the complexity of aviation today, that book was actually a fairy tale. And it was so simple and simplistic. So what I want to say is aviation is a very complex world. At global level, there are multiple challenges coming. Firstly, with regard to environmental challenges. Approximately 2 to 3% of carbon emission is done by the aviation industry. There are infrastructure challenges and of course the security challenge, which is a major challenge, and everything is getting tech. So what has happened is that technology infusion in this sector has made it very complex. And there is one broad underlying theme in the aviation sector, that is that every aviation technology can be used for military purposes also. It's a dual technology at all moments of time. So in this frame, when this book comes out, it is very refreshing. And first thing about the author of the book. You get books on aviation, but here is a book from a person who has been practicing actually on the field. He's a professional on the field for decades. So this book comes with experiential knowledge. I went through the book, it's extremely engaging. In fact, For a layman, it is very interesting to read it. Even the first chapter itself, how the airports are named, is very interesting in itself. And and it takes you through the journey. Every aspect of the airport is handled, aviation is handled. The center of it is the operations part of it, where an airport has so many multiple agencies functioning, and each is pulling, the systems in its own way. The security agency like CISF would want that its charter is anti-terrorism and anti-this checked. The airline will want, I don't want to park for a long time, my passengers get into it. The airport operator would want that the passengers linger in the shopping area and they buy. So everybody is pulling each other, and you have to make it functional. So when you read this book, you realize how this coordination is so complex in bringing about. It's a very beautiful journey into it. And this journey, the best part of the book which I liked was that this journey doesn't end at what it is. It is, futuristic. Recently, and you all must be following the Ukraine-Russia war, and there was one amazing attack in Russia by Ukrainians through drones called the Operation Spiderweb, through which they were able to hit around 14 regions in Russia through drones. If you really want to start with drones, start with the last chapter of this book. It gives you the history of drones, how they started from Austria and how they have come, and about the quadcopter and all those things. So it's a timely book by a professional, and it is also, in my eyes, a foundational book for anyone who is interested to work in the aviation sector, and also a great book which would be an asset for training youngsters who enter this sector of aviation. So to me, this book will be an immense success and also a sort of a mini Bible to begin your journey in the world of aviation. I wish this book, the author, a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And next on stage, as an officer who commands immense respect in the aviation world, far beyond the CISF and among all stakeholders, with a deep passion for aviation and a remarkable ability to see things through to their logical conclusion, he has earned the reputation of a true problem solver. Beyond his professional accomplishments, his advice on parenting has made him one of the most sought-after guides. A professional mentor and a personal guide to anyone who seeks his help, he epitomizes selflessness and dedication. Can we please give it up for our author, Shri S.K. Mohanka, DIG CISF, as he stands before us to share his invaluable insights on aviation through his book, Above and Beyond.
Warm welcome to Secretary Civil Aviation Shri Sinha. मंचासीन हमारे उड्डयन मंत्री श्री किंजरापू राम मोहन नायडू जी, शहनवाज हुसैन जी, सीलवर्धन सर, ठाकुर सर, समीर सिन्हा सर, हमारे डीजी श्री प्रवीर रंजन सर और हमारे मेंटर चोपड़ा सर, सामने बैठे विशिष्ट अतिथि दीपक सिंह सर, संदीप पौंड्रिक सर, हमारे सामने बैठे हमारे एयरपोर्ट सेक्टर के सभी अधिकारीगण और जीएमआर के अधिकारीगण, हमारे साथियों, मीडिया के लोगों, परिवारजन, भाइयों और बहनों, किताब के बारे में तो 2 एमिनेंट स्पीकर्स ने इतना बता दिया कि अब कुछ मेरे को बोलने को नहीं है। मैं अभिभूत हो रहा हूँ, बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है। मैं अपने बारे में बताता हूँ। बचपन से पिताजी कॉलेज में प्रिंसिपल थे, घर में किताबें थी, पढ़ने लिखने का माहौल था। बिजली जाती थी, लालटेन घुमा के देखना था किससे के साइड में छाया कम पड़ रही है, उसके साइड में शाम में पढ़ने का था। कोई अंग्रेजी स्कूल में पढ़ाई नहीं करी, हिंदी मीडियम में पढ़ाई करी। तो उस समय से इच्छा थी कि एक किताब लिखनी है। ये इच्छा 57 इयर्स में पूरी हुई है। JNU में पढ़ता था, मेरा टर्म पेपर सबसे मोटा होता था। नॉर्मली हमारे JNU के सभी साथी बैठे हैं, सबसे मोटा होता था। नॉर्मली लोग 15 पेज 20 पेज का लिखते थे, मेरा वाला 60 70 75 पेज का होता था। टीचर भी बार बार बोलते थे। मैंने कहा सर पूरा ही नहीं होता, आप जितना टॉपिक दे रखे हो। 2000 में एक शासन का आदेश निकला, बेमानन सुरक्षा को लोकल पुलिस से हटाकर CISF को एक कंधार के इंसिडेंट के कारण दिया गया। इनिशियल लोगों में से मैं था, पटना एयरपोर्ट पर फोर्स के साथ गया था। हमें सिक्योरिटी आती थी, एयरपोर्ट नहीं आता था, एविएशन नहीं आता था। तो धीरे धीरे सभी स्टेक होल्डर के बारे में, इक्विपमेंट के बारे में पढ़ा। 10-10 पेज के मोनोग्राफ बनाते चला गया, लोगों की क्लास लेता चला गया। मेरा था कि अगर स्टेक होल्डर के बारे में जानूंगा तो अपना काम बेहतर कर पाऊंगा। ये कारवा ऐसा चला कि मैं स्टेक होल्डर का धीरे धीरे ट्रेनर बन गया। अभी जितने स्टेक होल्डर हैं सबके लोगों को ट्रेनिंग देने के लिए वो लोग मुझे बुलाते हैं। अपना वाला तो चल ही रहा है। हम शुक्रगुजार हैं सरकार के। सरकार ने एविएशन में बहुत थम्पिंग टाइप से बढ़ावा करने का जो कोशिश कर रहे हैं, जो चीज़ें लागू हो रही है, कैपिटल अट्रैक्ट हो रही है, नए जहाज़ आ रहे हैं, नए एयरपोर्ट आ रहे हैं। जिसके लिए सपना था वो लोग भी उड़ रहे हैं, जिसने कभी सोचा नहीं था वो भी ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं, फर्स्ट क्लास, बिजनेस क्लास। जहाँ अच्छी रोड नहीं थी वहाँ एयरपोर्ट आ रहे हैं। जिसे पता नहीं है अंदर में बोर्डिंग गेट क्या होता है, अंदर दुकान है उसमें सेम दाम में मिलेगा क्या, ऐसे लोग ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं। जिन्होंने ज़िंदगी में ट्रेन नहीं देखी थी वो हवाई जहाज़ से सफ़र कर रहे हैं। ये देश बदल रहा है और एविएशन इसका एक बहुत ही मजबूत एग्जाम्पल है। NCERT की क्लास 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 की कक्षा में एग्रीकल्चर, इकोनॉमी, इंडस्ट्री पढ़ाई होती है। एविएशन का क्लास एक चैप्टर होना, एविएशन इतना मजबूत बन चुका है। हमारे बच्चे मैं पहली बार हवाई जहाज़ पे 27 इयर्स में चढ़ा था। मेरा बेटा वहाँ बैठा है, पहली बार 9 या 10 महीने का था जब हवाई जहाज़ पे चढ़ा था। मैं पहली बार इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल 38 ईयर में किया था। वो पहली बार इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल 18 इयर्स में किया है। बदल रहा है, पूरा कुछ बदल रहा है। एविएशन पे मैंने लिटरेचर खोजने की कोशिश की। एक एस्पेक्ट पे है, कम्प्रिहेंसिव बुक, कम्प्रिहेंसिव मटेरियल अवेलेबल नहीं है, मैनुअल्स है। एविएशन में सिक्रेसी का एलिमेंट बहुत ज़्यादा है। कोई स्टेक होल्डर अपने बारे में दूसरे को कुछ नहीं बताना चाहता है। उसे लगता है पता नहीं जान लेगा तो मेरी नौकरी चली जाएगी। कट थ्रोट कंपटीशन है। इसीलिए ज़्यादा ज़रूरत थी कि मैं सीख के समझ के अपने लोगों को बता सकूं। मुझे मौका दिया हमारे DG सर ने पुलिस ऑफिसर्स को क्लास लेने का हैदराबाद में। मैंने 1.25 घंटे की क्लास ली थी। 3.5 घंटे का क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन था। उसके बाद 120 क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए थे। लोगों को एविएशन में काफ़ी मिस्ट्री दिखती है। सर्वे भी किया, सर्वे करके लोगों के क्वेरीज़ को एड्रेस करने के लिए किताब में आंसर किया। तो एविएशन को डीमिस्टिफाई करने की ज़रूरत है, डी ग्लोरीफाई करने की ज़रूरत है। सामान्य आदमी तक जो सरकार कर रही है रीजनल कनेक्टिविटी स्कीम में 2010, 12, 14 के जो एयरपोर्ट्स है और 2024, 25 के एयरपोर्ट हैं, कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच गए हैं। मैं अपने लोगों को बोलता हूँ, एक हवाई जहाज़ के डब्बे में, एक छोटे से स्पेस में 50 से भी ज़्यादा इमोशंस होते हैं। कोई नौकरी की खोज में जा रहा है, कोई अपने माताजी को छोटे डब्बे में लेके जा रहा है, कोई हनीमून पे जा रहा है, कोई अपने बीमारी की इलाज करने के लिए जा रहा है। इसलिए जब भी आप अपना काम कर रहे हो, एयरलाइन हो या CISF हो या लोडर है, उसको प्रोफेशनल तरीके से काम करना, उनको टच नहीं करना, इमोशन को टच नहीं करना, वो रिबाउंड कर जाएगा। क्योंकि बहुत शॉर्ट टाइम के लिए इंटरेक्शन होता है और उस आदमी के दिल में क्या चल रहा है ये पता नहीं होता है। रेलवे में पूरे सिस्टम के ऊपर एक DRM होता है, जिसकी बात फ्रेट वाला भी, प्लेटफार्म वाला भी, कम्युनिकेशन वाला भी सभी सुनता है। एविएशन में ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है, हर कोई अपनी ढपली अपना राग बिताते हैं। इसलिए एविएशन में कोऑर्डिनेशन का और भी ज़्यादा वैल्यू है। नोबडी कंट्रोल्स द एयरपोर्ट। एयर इंडिया अपना काम कर रही है, ग्राउंड हैंडलर अपना काम कर रहा है, खोमचे वाला, समोसे वाला अपना काम कर रहा है, किसी के ऊपर कोई कंट्रोल नहीं है। और सर ने जो बोला, हर आदमी का अपना कुछ प्रायोरिटी है, उसका अपना कुछ ऑब्जेक्टिव है, उसका अपना कुछ टारगेट है। और PPP मॉडल के एयरपोर्ट में बहुत बड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट है, लेकिन वहाँ का टारगेट और भी अलग है, और भी अलग है। गवर्नमेंट वाले में टारगेट का एक अलग ट्रेजेक्ट्री था, इधर टारगेट का ट्रेजेक्ट्री अलग है। बट वी आर वेरी लकी टू हैव वर्ल्ड क्वालिटी एयरपोर्ट्स इन इंडिया, वर्ल्ड क्वालिटी प्रोफेशनल सर्विसेज इन इंडिया in last 8-10 years. All the credit goes to this present government. जो मंच पर मिनिस्टर्स बैठे हैं उनकी मैं तहे दिल से प्रशंसा करता हूँ। जो अमेरिका के, यूरोप के एयरपोर्ट्स हैं वो 70 साल 80 साल पुराने हैं, उनकी ग्राउंड हैंडलिंग, उनकी बैगेज हैंडलिंग सब कुछ हमसे कमज़ोर है। हमारे एयरपोर्ट आज के हैं, आज से 10 साल बाद के हैं, और जितनी भी कैपेसिटी के बनते हैं 5 साल 4 साल में उसकी कैपेसिटी फुलफिल हो जाती है, फिर आगे देखना होता है। हम बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं, आप सभी लोगों ने आज मौका दिया, किताब के बारे में चर्चा की। मंत्री जी और मंचासीन अतिथि गणों ने अपना समय निकाला, परिवारजन हमारे अलग अलग जगह से, हमारे मित्रगण चल के आए, इतने सारे अधिकारी आए, तहे दिल से आपका थैंक यू बोलता हूँ। जय हिंद।
Thank you, sir. May I now request Shri Praveer Ranjan, IPS, Director General CISF, to share his valuable insights with us, please.
Honorable Civil Aviation Minister, Mr. Naidu, Shri Sanawaz Hussain ji, former DG CISF and current member UPSC, Mr. Shilvardhan Singh, Shri R.P. Thakur, present Civil Aviation Secretary, Shri Samir Sinha ji, Shri Sanjeev Arora ji, the publishers, and my dear colleague Mohanka, and all the esteemed audience who are present here. It's an honor to be present on this occasion. As Mr. Mohanka was just narrating his own story, I would like to add about his passion. Now, when you read the book, obviously you will get to know what the book is all about. But something which I am familiar with, working with him for last 1.5 years in the aviation sector, while I was heading the aviation sector in CISF. He is a very passionate man. And his passion goes beyond my words. You know, when you interact with him, when you start talking to him on the subject of aviation, then you realize how deeply he is involved in his subject. Sometimes you have to stop him. You have to tell him, Mohanka ji, I have limited time. But the story doesn't stop here. So when this book he was writing, one day he came to me and said, sir, it's very difficult for a serving officer to get a book approved. So I would request you to recommend my book to DG CISF, then DG CISF. I said, let me first read it and see whether you have written something which is in line with our thoughts or not. So I asked for a copy of it, sir. That was a draft. And I said, I will first do the proofreading. I mean, the publishers obviously will do the real proofreading, but let me do it before I recommend the book for permission. So I had a copy of that, which was given to me, and I went page by page. My entire team, in fact, of aviation sector, I put everybody on the job, gave them to read the whole book, and then we discussed what is there inside the book. And believe me, while I was going through it, and that's my personal feeling I'm sharing with you, nobody in CISF would have thought of so many dimensions of aviation as this book comes out with. Because CISF also has a limited role in the aviation sector, and as all my predecessors have said, it's a very complex ecosystem. It's a multi-stakeholders ecosystem where everybody has its own pulls and pressures. And as Mohanka was saying, that all these stakeholders, they don't relate to each other. Sometimes you have to really fight it out to put across your point. But then, as an ecosystem, is still working very well. So to bring about that synergy, I would recommend all the audience present here must see and must read this book. That's what it talks about. It talks about different dimensions of aviation and how to bring about a synergy in our working. Unless we appreciate each other's viewpoint, it is not easy to deliver on the ground. So, as you also heard in that small clip by all the stakeholders, they all looked very happy, by holding that book, because they felt that there's something about them which is being said in this book. So that's what the book has come out with. We have had so many books and we have seen so many serials, movies also, but nobody has touched so many dimensions of aviation ecosystem as this book touches. So my full compliments to Mohanka ji for coming out with this book, and I'm sure this book will go a long way in making the audience appreciate the dynamic ecosystem of aviation. So with these words, I once again congratulate you, and I also thank all the esteemed guests on behalf of the airport sector, sir, because I still have that airport sector with me, being the head of this organization, and I'm so grateful that all of you could spare time and could come here, which brings a lot of honor to the organization and to Mr. Mohanka, sir. Thank you on his behalf and on my personal behalf.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Shri Syed Shah Nawaz Hussain, Honorable ex-Civil Aviation Minister, to say a few words, please.
मेरे मित्र राम मोहन नायडू जी, यहाँ पर मौजूद सेक्रेटरी सिविल एविएशन ठाकुर साहब, शीलवर्धन जी, प्रवीण रंजन साहब, संजीव चोपड़ा जी, यहाँ पर मौजूद दीपक जी, संदीप पौंड्रिक साहब, यहाँ पे आए हुए सारे डिग्निटरीज, मैं यहाँ आज हाज़िरी देने के लिए आया हूँ और ख़ास तौर पे आया हूँ। मैंने शिवू को कहा था कि शिव कुमार मोहनका जी, घर का नाम आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि हम लोग स्कूल में थे, हम लोग बचपन से साथ हैं, और शिव कुमार मोहनका जी जैसे दिख रहे हैं वैसा हम बचपन में समझते थे कि ऐसे ही होंगे। मैं इनको कहता था कि मेरा पढ़ने में मन नहीं लगता तो मैं पॉलिटिक्स में जाऊंगा, तुम बहुत पढ़ते हो इसलिए यूपीएससी क्रैक करोगे। और ये जो हमने कहा था वो सच है, ये कोई मुंह देखी बात नहीं है। और मैं मजाक भी करता था कि एक दिन तुम्हें हमारे साथ काम करना है। मैं सिविल एविएशन मिनिस्टर बना तब मैंने तय किया कि मैं अपना पीएस किसको लूँ। फिर मुझे लगा कि पीएस और मिनिस्टर के बीच में जो रिश्ता है वो रिश्ते में शिव कुमार मोहनका जी कैसे फिट बैठेंगे, क्योंकि ये मुझे कभी डांट भी देते थे, कभी सलाह भी देते थे। मैंने कहा अगर वही बात रही और टोकने की जो इनकी आदत है, और बिना मांगे भी सलाह देते हैं ये। तो मुझे लगा कि मैं ही इनको फॉलो करूँगा। तब मेरे पीएस राहटे साहब बने और ओएसडी गुप्तेश्वर पांडे बने। और जब मैं ही मिनिस्टर था, 9/11 हमारे दौर में जब हुआ, तो इस CISF एयरपोर्ट पे आए। ये डिसीज़न आसान डिसीज़न नहीं था, क्योंकि कहीं दिल्ली पुलिस थी, कहीं मुंबई पुलिस थी, कहीं कलकत्ता पुलिस थी, उनका बहुत असर था। और तब के होम मिनिस्टर अडवाणी जी से वो भी इस पक्ष में नहीं थे कि सारा CISF को दे दिया जाए, लेकिन मेरी ज़िद थी। मिस्टर दुर्रा थे उस टाइम में DG। हम लोगों ने CISF को एयरपोर्ट पे आए। तो सही बात है कि जब मैं मिनिस्टर हुआ तो मोहनका जी तो पटना ही आएंगे, तो पटना आए। फिर मोहनका जी ईस्ट में जाएंगे, और एक बार गुवाहाटी बैंकॉक की फ़्लाइट थी। वहाँ के गोगोई साहब चीफ मिनिस्टर, जनरल सिन्हा गवर्नर थे, और मैं एविएशन मिनिस्टर था। मैं वहाँ गया तो मोहनका जी, ये बात बताना इसलिए ज़रूरी है कि किसी चीज़ को कितना तेज़ी से कर सकते हैं। मेरे OSD थे गुप्तेश्वर पांडे, तो पासपोर्ट मेरा सब कुछ उनके पास ही था। तो जब बोर्डिंग कार्ड आ गया और उसके बाद हम जाने की बारी आई, तो पासपोर्ट तो वो मेरा लाए नहीं थे, और गवर्नर भी बैठे थे और चीफ मिनिस्टर भी बैठे थे। मुझे उससे जाना था, उनको फ्लैग ऑफ करना था। तब मोहनका जी ने कहा कि नहीं, एक हमारा जवान है जो बुलेट अच्छी चलाता है, वहाँ से पासपोर्ट ऑफिस से वो बुलेट से बहुत कम टाइम में वो पासपोर्ट लेकर आएगा। गुवाहाटी एयरपोर्ट से शहर दूर है। तो मैं किसी बातचीत में बैठा रहा और मोहनका जी आए, तो दूर खड़े थे। तो मेरे और गवर्नर साहब के बीच में जगह थी। तो मैंने उनको, गवर्नर साहब को कहा कि ये मेरे स्कूल मेट हैं, मेरे बचपन के दोस्त हैं, और हम लोग रियल फ्रेंड भी हैं। मतलब वो नेताओं वाला मत समझिएगा, दोस्तों भाइयों बहनों वाला रिश्ता नहीं है, सही वाला है। तो मोहनका जी ने कम वक्त में, यानी मैं समझता हूँ कि रिकॉर्ड टाइम में पासपोर्ट भी मेरा बना, और वो लेकर आया। मैंने मोहनका जी को गवर्नर साहब के बीच में बैठाया। मैंने कहा आज कोई प्रोटोकॉल नहीं है, आज एक मित्र के साथ बैठा। तो मैं जानता हूँ ये बहुत किसी काम को बहुत शिद्दत से करते हैं, और जब भी कुछ भी चीज़ें होती हैं तो वो अच्छी सलाह भी देते हैं। अब इनकी सलाह एविएशन में, वो तो बाइबल बनेगा एविएशन का। ये बुक को मैंने इसको पढ़ा नहीं है, लेकिन मैं बताऊं कि जब भी मैं हैदराबाद एयरपोर्ट गया या बेंगलोर गया, तो मोहनका जी ने ज़बरदस्ती मुझे पढ़वाया। मैं पढ़ना नहीं चाहता था। मैंने कहा ठीक है, आपने लिखा होगा तो अच्छा ही लिखा होगा। तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं, ये पेज पढ़ो, ये पेज पढ़ो। मैंने कहा भाई, पढ़ने लिखने के डर से तो हम लोग राजनीति में आए हैं, आप यहाँ भी मुझे पढ़वा रहे हैं। तो इन्होंने कम से कम 10-20 पेज मुझे पढ़वा दिया, और अच्छा ही था। जो समझा उसमें भी मैंने अच्छा कहा, जो नहीं समझ में आया उसमें भी मैंने अच्छा कहा। और अच्छा है, हम लोग यहाँ पे आए हैं तो जो डिग्नेटरीज होते हैं, मैं देखता हूँ कई बार लोग तकरीर करते हैं तो 2-4 दोस्त तो साथ होते ही हैं। 1-2 लोग उसमें क्लैपिंग करते हैं तो पड़ोसी को भी लगता है कुछ अच्छा ही कहा होगा, क्लैपिंग करते हैं। और जो लोग आते हैं वो अच्छा ही कहते हैं। कई बार पार्लियामेंट में सुषमा जी हमारी लीडर थी, अपोजिशन थी, मैं पार्लियामेंट में फ्रंट पे बैठने वाला था। तो कई, आप नायडू साहब को नाम बता दूंगा, इन्हीं के MP थे, वो बहुत तेज़ बोलते थे, और मेरी सीट बगल में थी वो। तो मैंने उनको हर स्पीच के बाद कहना था, वाह वाह बहुत अच्छा बोले आप। एक दिन सुषमा जी ने हमसे कहा कि देखो शाहनवाज, तुम अच्छे ओरेटर हो, ऐसा मत करो, तुम्हारा अगर वो दोस्त है तो उसको बताओ कि वो अच्छा नहीं बोल रहा है, कब स्लो बोलना, कब ज़्यादा बोलना, ये बात ध्यान रखो। तो फिर मैंने वो कहना छोड़ा, और मैंने कहा कि नहीं, जब आपको गुस्से में बोलना है तो बाद में बोलिए, पहली अपनी सब बात बोल लीजिए। हाउ टू स्पीक ये कोई आसान काम है नहीं। पब्लिक बहुत खड़ी है, सुनना कुछ और चाहती है, सुना कुछ और रहे हैं। तो यहाँ पे हम लोग जिसके भी प्रोग्राम में जाते हैं, यहाँ जितने डिग्निटरीज आए हैं, कि शीलवर्धन साहब तो हमारे दोस्त हैं बहुत पुराने, और ये इन्होंने सबसे ज़्यादा पढ़कर यहाँ बोला है। और यहाँ पर चोपड़ा साहब मेंटर हैं, और मैं जानता हूँ कि जो डीजी हैं उनका कोई डीआईजी कोई किताब लिख रहा हो तो वो अच्छा ही बताएंगे। तो मैं पूरा यकीन करता हूँ कि ये बाइबल की तरह ये एविएशन में बनेगा। मैं भी आपकी प्रशंसा करता हूँ कि आपने बहुत अच्छी पुस्तक लिखी है।
Thank you, sir. The moment we've all been waiting for has now arrived, a moment that marks both an accomplishment and a beginning. Today, we witness the launch of a remarkable work that celebrates intellect, vision, and excellence, the much-awaited book, Above and Beyond, authored by DIG Shri S.K. Mohanka. May I now request our Honorable Civil Aviation Minister, former Civil Aviation Minister, and our esteemed dignitaries on the dais to please do the honors and release the book, Above and Beyond, published by Juris Press. Thank you, sir. I now request Shri K. Ram Mohan Naidu, Honorable Civil Aviation Minister, to please address the gathering.
My predecessor and former Minister of Civil Aviation, young then and young now, Shanwaz Hussain ji, Member UPSC Shilvardhan ji, DGCISF Praveen Ranjan ji, and former DGP Andhra Pradesh RP Thakur ji, and Secretary Civil Aviation Samir Kumar Sinha ji, and former Director Labasna Sanjeev Chopra ji, and the blue-eyed boy for today, Shiv Mohanka ji, and all the family members that are here today who are celebrating this moment of releasing of his book, and his friends, stakeholders from the aviation industry and friends from the media, a very good afternoon to each and every one of you. I feel honored to be here today for the launch of DIG CISF Shiv Kumar Mohanka ji's book, Above and Beyond. And on this moment, I would like to congratulate him on this remarkable achievement, which is a rare and a daring feat. Rare because you'd see that CISF, they have a very duty-bound responsibility at the airports to do a specific task of maintaining the security. But very rarely you would find someone who is coming from this sector authoring a book, not only on the security aspect of aviation, but entire aspects of aviation. And it's a very daring feat, because you can always find books on aviation which cover specific subjects. They always talk about a specific sector within aviation. But this is a book, it is like a complete encyclopedia of aviation. So it's quite a rare and a very daring feat. So I'd like to congratulate Mohanka ji on achieving this remarkable feat. And as an aviation encyclopedia, like I've mentioned, every time, this has been shared by all the other members also who have spoken before me, every time you meet, I have to say that Mohanka ji doesn't speak English, he doesn't speak Hindi, he doesn't speak any other language, he only speaks aviation. This is what he speaks each and every day, every single time you meet him. And that is why this book and this moment is also very special for me as the Civil Aviation Minister, because it is very rare to come across such books which span the length and breadth of the complete aviation sector, which spans from the total air side to the terminal to the land side, and all the different agencies, all the different stakeholders who make aviation what it is today. He has ensured that he has talked about it, he has mentioned about it, and he has ensured they get due respect for what they do in the airports also. And I must say that the title of this book also captures the spirit of aviation, which is above and beyond. Aviation by its very nature requires people with passion, perseverance, commitment, and it demands all of us to go above and beyond to perform in aviation. If these qualities are within you, aviation will call you. And once you become part of it in any capacity, the excitement and the colors of this industry stay with you forever. That's why I always say that I find a lot of similarity between politics and aviation. Aviation is quite new to me today. I've been learning about it in the last 14 to 15 months. And politics, I've been there in the last 12 years. And I've seen that once you get into politics, there is no exit. It is there with you throughout your entire life. And I've seen that with aviation also. I'm meeting people from the industry day in and day out. And I see that this is not just a kind of profession that they carry, but this is a passion that they carry. And there is no exit from aviation also. And a similar personality that I'm seeing here today is Mohanka ji, who has come into aviation, who has grown in aviation, and who is giving back to aviation today. And he has been serving the nation in uniform for 3 decades and has gone above and beyond his duty to share his knowledge and experiences with us. And I think it is the only book that has been written by someone coming from the security vertical. It provides an amazing 360-degree perspective on the airports, its functioning, and its day-to-day activities. And I feel it is a must-read for aviation enthusiasts, but even more for the travelers and anyone who is curious about what goes into aviation. And this book is truly a beautiful message, carries a beautiful message of the complete aviation and the kind of story that we are creating in India itself. It introduces readers to the intricate systems, processes, and even the small but crucial details that make air travel possible today. It also, when we fly and when we book a ticket and when we come to the airport and pass through the security, board the plane and fly away, not realizing the massive ecosystem that is working behind the structure, behind the scenes to make it possible every day. And if you see, as a traveler, if you go to the airport, right now we have made it more seamless also for passengers to avoid serious delays at the checkpoints. It becomes very, very easy for you to step out of the car and board the plane. But you have to see that what you pass through in that moment is just the tip of the iceberg. What happens behind the scenes, the number of people that are working in coordination, coming from different departments, coming with different skills, coming with different aptitude, coming with different attitude, all of them working together to ensure that plane is flying safely and securely from that airport. I think this book has beautifully shown the entire ecosystem that goes beyond, and for the passenger to realize and appreciate all these services. And the book encourages us to pause, observe, and appreciate all of these processes. And I like how Mohanka ji has simplified complex technical aspects like ATC, air traffic control, weather systems, sustainability, airport planning, and explained to the common man on how all these systems work or on how these systems function. Because aviation is a very high-flying sector. It is supposed to be a very glamorous and very technically sound and expert-oriented kind of sector. But what Mohanka ji has done is to de-glorify it, demystify it, and make it accessible to the common man and understandable to the common man. And I'm proud to say it is because of people like Mohanka ji at the airport who are there working in this sector that our high-flying sector like aviation is continuously grounded and continuously connected to the people of the country, especially the common man of this country. And I hope the readers would also respect the aviation professionals who work tirelessly to make our journeys safe and secure. Like I've said, we only see very few number of people, we have few touch points that we go through instead of the huge network that is there at the airports, right from how people are managing the traffic within the airport, how the baggage handling systems are done, how many other ecosystems that are there working in the airport. We don't even realize that they are there. But this book gives you an insight into all those systems and makes you appreciate all the people who are working in those sectors. And it will also encourage young readers, especially to continue that passion and to come into aviation. Because like Shilji was telling, how aviation is like a passionate subject for the children. Right from the childhood, there is a dream to fly. And for that dream to convert into a passion and that passion to be converted into a profession, there needs to be some kind of guiding document for them which gives them a glimpse into the kind of careers or the kind of profession that they can enter when they choose aviation. So for that, I feel this book provides a much required guiding document or a guiding substance through which the kids can explore what aviation is truly about, not only what it is today, but it is what is going to be in the future also. And at me being a minister, we have started a career guidance program where we are reaching out to these young children, especially 10th, 11th and 12th class students, because we need those passionate people, we need those passionate kids to continuously come into the aviation sector and to be associated with it. And now with this career guidance program, we are trying to bring people from the industry. We are bringing in pilots, we are bringing in crew members or other engineers or other people who are related with the aviation industry and sending them as a group to the schools. But what I can proudly say now is that along with that team, we are going to send some of these books and also hand it over to the students so that they can get a glimpse into this and they can read it at their leisure time and see that how they can correlate and how they can collaborate with the aviation when they choose it as a profession. And also we have another initiative that we started, which is a flybrary initiative. You see that when we are traveling, our favorite pastime becomes to read books. And that is how we started an initiative in Bhubaneswar. It's called the Flybrary, where we have put a rack and we have books which have been donated by some people and which we have also kept so that a passenger can pick up free of cost one book of his choice and to read while he is traveling. And the airport, where it's destination airport, he can find another flybrary rack and just put it there so that the next passenger can pick up. And this has been a very good initiative and we have got quite a good response from the people also. We have started it in Bhubaneswar and we want to replicate it across the country in all the airports so that it becomes a very comprehensive ecosystem. And I'm now saying that in those flybrary, I'm going to ensure that this Above and Beyond book by Mohanka ji is continuously there in that flybrary so that the passengers, all they get to read, the passengers, when they want to know about aviation in the flight, is the safety manual. They have to see the exit gates, they have to see the signboards and everything, or that one manual that you get. That is the only insight that you'll get into aviation. But I feel this is what passengers really have to read. This is not an engineer's book. This is not a crew book or a pilot book or some ATC guy's book. This is a book of the passenger especially. At the core, if you go through all the pages that he has written, it is not what he has written from his side as his experience. He has written experiences from the point of view of the passenger. I think that is the great strength and quality of the book that is going to make it a huge success in the future, is keeping the heart and the core of the book as the common man, as the common passenger. And I feel that has to be read by the passengers who are traveling every day in these planes. And we are going to ensure that this is going to be available in our flybrary, these things. And if you see that I have started another kind of initiative, it is the Udan Yatri Cafe. This is after the Udan scheme, which has been a revolutionary scheme to democratize air travel. Our Honorable Prime Minister has started, where we are connecting the unserved and underserved airports of the country, and we have brought in a lot of regional connectivity within the country. You know, the way the airports expanded in the last 11 years, from 74 airports, we grew up to 162 airports. And tomorrow in Navi Mumbai, we are opening 163rd airport also. So every 45 to 50 days, we have been opening one new airport in the country. It is a great statistic. And when these airports have increased at such a big pace, what happened was the aspirations of the people increased when we went with these airports to tier 2 and tier 3 cities. People wanted to make it a reality of their dream to fly. And likewise, there have been a lot of population which has come into air travel network. And now we have doubled the number of passengers that are traveling through air in the last 10 years also. And what the economical change that we have seen is that the air travel is no longer sticking with the elite. Air travel is preferred by each and every kind of every person in the country. And when we saw and when we got the feedback, one strong feedback that we got in the recent years was that the coffee, the tea, the things that you want to eat at the airport are very, very expensive. Then we thought we have to change something about this. Now there are people who are coming from very low marginal backgrounds who are getting accessible into this air travel network. They should feel at home when they are at airports. So taking a cue from the Udan scheme, we have started the Udan Yatri Cafe. And you would be surprised that today in these Udan Yatri cafes, we are providing tea at 10 rupees, coffee at 20 rupees, samosa at 20 rupees. And I proudly say that these are prices which you might not even get at a railway station also. And this is the kind of services that we want to see in aviation in the country today. We want it to be more accessible and affordable to the people at large. And this is the change that you're going to see in the coming future also. And with these kind of changes that you see at the airports, it is very important to understand the network that is there behind. Because ultimately it is not a network which it's as easy as you taking a bus from one place to another. These are very, very safety-related systems, safety-related machines, and security-related mechanisms and protocols that are there internationally that you have to maintain at these airports. So when the common awareness and the common understanding of the people also should be increasing day by day around airports. You can't just say that how I travel from home to the airport by taking a cab or a taxi. I can't take the same kind of approach when I go to the airport. I'm just boarding the aircraft and landing somewhere, and I can do it with my own whims and fancies. There is a lot of protocol that is established. And this protocol should reach the common passenger also. The common passenger is just buying the ticket today and coming to the airport, not knowing the kind of systems that are there. So these are the kind of books, when they reach into the hands of passengers, it will ensure that there is an awareness on the protocols and the systems and the network that is there in the airports, and which is going to create a very respectable way of travel for everyone that is going and using this one. So it is very important for all of us to ensure, because the success, in one way, the success of the book, I feel, is related to the success of aviation in the country also. It is a comprehensive book, and the kind of conversations he has shared through the book is more and more relevant to the day-to-day and the people who are traveling today. He has ensured to capture the emotions and the questions that the passengers go through at the airports. And what I found unbelievable was a person who is related in the security vertical trying to capture these kind of emotions and answering them in an aviation point of view. I think that is something which truly needs to be respected and lauded also. And special thanks from the Ministry of Civil Aviation for the contribution that you have done to the aviation network here today. And it's very, very, very encouraging to see these kind of books coming in. We see a lot of progress happening in the civil aviation sector. We have brought it to a certain level in the last 11 years, but this is just the beginning. You can imagine the success that we have seen in the last 11 years, but it is just, we are going fast on the runway and they're ready to take off. This is the stage we are going to take off. So we have a lot more success to see in aviation in the country today. And for that, we need people like Mohanka ji in aviation. We need books like Above and Beyond being circulated in this sector. And a lot of people should get access to this. And I once again thank Mohanka ji for making this rare and daring effort to author a book of such a kind and putting all the entire 360-degree perspective of aviation into this. And special congratulations to him. And when you do an effort like this, it is never the effort of one person. There is a lot of support systems also behind him. So my thanks to the congratulations to their family members also, the friends also who have shaped him to be in such a way, and all the support systems that have worked in supporting him to do this book. And special thanks to Shanavas ji also. He has shared his association with him. Mohanka ji, मुझे आपसे एक ही चीज़ कहना, आपने तो book लिखी है. आजकल क्या होता है, टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से बुक लिखने के बाद वो ऑडियो बुक भी बनता है, और आपको कभी लगे कि इसको ऑडियो बुक बनाना है तो उसको ज़रूर शाहनवाज जी से ही बनाइएगा। तो वो सुनने में जिस तरह से आपने लिखने में इतनी अच्छी कामयाबी के साथ आपने लिखी है, इतना सक्सेसफुल बुक लिखा है, अगर ये सुनने में भी ये सक्सेसफुल होना है तो ज़रूर ये शाहनवाज जी के वॉइस में ही इसको लोगों के तक पहुंचाना पड़ेगा। तो बहुत अच्छा लगा टू सी दिस काइंड ऑफ रिलेशनशिप ऑल्सो ऑन द स्टेज बिटवीन माई प्रिडेसेसर एंड मोहंका जी, बिकॉज as a government it is all a collaboration. Nobody is high, nobody is low. There is an effort from each and every person to achieve success. You see that at home, you see that in school, you see that in an organization, and today you're seeing that in the government. This is a continuous process of people collaborating. You learn something, you try to give it back, and this is what Mohanka ji has done today. 30 years of his learning experience, he didn't try to keep it for himself. He didn't try to just perform his duty. He is an excellent performer. He has got such a vast experience of working across the country, and he is good enough doing his duty 100% committedly, but he thought the kind of experience that I have today, I have to share it with the country at large. I have to share it with the world. I have to do something, I have to give something back to the society, especially in this sector that I'm very passionate about. And this is an inspiration for a lot of people who are passionate about their work. And this, I think it is there in his genes. He has told how his father is also related to education and academics, and how he got the inspiration to write a book. And from this moment and this releasing of this book, we all find an inspiration that how whatever we do, how we need to be passionate about it, and how we can pass it on to the next generations or the people at large. So thank you very much for making me involved also. It is a great contribution to the entire aviation industry, and as a minister I feel very, very proud releasing this book, and I recommend it to each and everyone. Especially the language is so simple and so understandable, not unlike the regular terminology that we use in aviation, that it is easily understandable for the common man, the common passenger also. So it is very much recommended for everyone to read at their leisure time, especially try to pick it up from the libraries also. We'll make it accessible in the libraries and those initiatives also. So thank you very much for all the people who have attended it, especially the multicolored dais that we have here. People from different backgrounds who are associated with Mohanka ji have all come here in support of this event. So sincere thanks to all of them. And once again, very warm congratulations to Mohanka ji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for those gracious words of appreciation. I now request Shri Praveer Ranjan sir, Director General, CISF, to please present mementos to Shri K. Ram Mohan Naidu, Honorable Civil Aviation Minister, and Shri Syed Shah Nawaz Khan, Honorable Ex-Civil Aviation Minister, as a token of our respect and gratitude. I now request Shri S.K. Mohanka, DIG CISF, to please present a memento to each of our esteemed guests on the dais. I also request Shri Gauri Shankar Nateshan, publisher Joris Press, to please present mementos to our honorable guests. Thank you, sir. I now request Shri Gauri Shankar Nateshan, publisher, Juris Press, with whose efforts the book has seen the light of the day, to please deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to keep this very short. A lot has been said about the book. A lot has been said about the author. So I just want to say, just add a little bit of my own experience with Mohanka ji. So when he first got in touch with me regarding publishing this book, so I gave him a standard answer saying that, why don't you send me the manuscript? And he said, no, you come down to Bangalore, only then I'll give it to you. So ultimately, initially I tried to wriggle out of it, but didn't work. So I did go to Bangalore, and which is when I understood as to why. He explained the entire aviation industry in about, I think, 3-4 hours. It gave me the context to understand the book itself. I think that was my starting point. It's been about 18 months, sir? Yes. It's been 18 months. It's been a fantastic amount of work by him, by my team, and I really would like to thank my team at this juncture. They've done a hell of a lot to ensure that this book comes out well. I would like to thank the Honorable Minister for Civil Aviation for taking the time to launch this book. I think this book deserved this kind of a launch. And I would also like to thank all the other distinguished members on the dais, off the dais, the press, for taking the time to attend this event and making it a grand success. I'm sure the book will do very well. And in signing off, I also would like to say that I've done a short podcast with Mohanka ji, and it's gone live on YouTube maybe a few minutes back. It's under the heading of Seasoned Insights. So that's something that will give you a perspective in terms of what he feels about aviation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. With that, we come to the end of this memorable event, the launch of Above and Beyond. I kindly request all to please raise for the national anthem. I request all the dignitaries, senior officers, friends and audience to please join us for lunch.
आ जाएंगे ना सर, तो सभी खाने लग जाएंगे, अदरवाइज सारी भाग जाएंगे। सर आप बहुत अच्छा बोले सर।
Sir, I will, sir. Mohanka has been so much of praise with me. All the time.
But he will go. Minister
I know, he's already gone there.
बाकी तो मिल जाएंगे. Minister, you catch hold of minister.
I'll try to get the others.
मैं जा रहा हूँ चुनाव लड़ने किशनगंज से लड़ूँ
सर